All Stars 9 proved that drag queens can save the world, kind of, as the queens this season threw themselves in the competition and in debt for charity. I'm Grady,
And I'm Zach.
and this is Highlights.
I don't know if you want me to say that
I like how much it really elevated the
bit.
record. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. All Stars 9. So
Stars 9.
before we get into this, because I feel like we give a lot of opinions here, and I feel like a lot of fan review shows get a lot of flack. So I just want to make like a little disclaimer, if that's okay. And it goes a little something like this. We are fans, and we are fans giving our opinions and perspectives as fans. We're not drag queens. Zach kind of is sometimes. um,
In
but
the dark of night.
yeah, but we're not drag queens. We're not, you know, out there doing the thing. We're just people who like this show and we like talking about this show. And we're giving our perspective as audience members from our couches who enjoy this show. And so when we give critiques and opinions, it's just to have fun conversation about it. It's not to talk about anyone's drag, not to bring anyone down. Um, it's just simply to engage in a discourse and have some fun with it along the way. And that's it.
Absolutely.
Yes. We are down a person once again. So Charisse, we promise Charisse is part of the show. Charisse,
And she
Charisse,
is alive.
she is. She came back, for Drag Race. And then she was planning to record for All Stars 9 and had some life come up that could not be avoided and just really interfered with what we're doing. So she's not going to make it this time, but she really wanted to. And she did spend all season giving some opinions, and we're going to do our best to kind of share on her behalf. Pun intended. Share, get it? Share, Cherise, get it? Okay, anyways. Um, you're welcome. Um, so yeah, so
Snap out of it.
yeah, that's how she talks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so we missed her. We wish she was here. We love, the stuff she adds, especially because sometimes it's like controversial. And that's always fun. So she's always like our wild card, I feel. So it's nice having her here. But she should be back, I'm assuming, for the next go around. So sorry, y'all. It's just a skaze this time. So first things first, we jump right into the big spoiler. I mean, y'all have already watched the season at this point. You know why we're here. Okay. All right. So congrats to Angeria. Kind of a shock
Yay,
twist at the end.
Andrea.
Yeah,
Boy,
shocking
was
twist.
it.
Yeah, I can't wait to discuss that, boy. I'm I was so gleeful I almost did a cartwheel. Okay. I
And truthfully, not who at the beginning of the season I thought was going to be even in the top three. I just didn't see
No,
that happening.
not at the beginning. Toward as the season went along, I think it became clear she was a front runner, which makes the fan
Mhm.
discourse about it all the more hilarious, and we'll talk about that. But um yeah, this was a blast. So yeah, congrats to her. I think she really deserved it. Oh, that's an Nymphy. I don't like that. I
She
think she
didn't.
really did. Yeah. um I think Angeria truly deserved it, and I'm just So excited for her. Love this. That being said, I will say Roxy had a good run, and we'll talk about that too. But Roxy did really
Mhm.
well. So all the haters should calm down. They should be proud of your girl. Okay. We get it. She did well. Vanjie was there.
I do wish Angeria had won money though.
I, I know
It kind of feels like a blue hydrangea win a little bit.
it does. It does. Because it's like she's in the winner's circle, but she's still like poor. You know what I mean? Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Rough. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're talking about Benji.
Oh yeah. Yeah, don't ever do that again. No,
Fuck you.
yeah, Vanjie was the only one that I was like, oh, Vanjie's in the top three. Okay.
How did that happen?
Yeah. We'll talk about that too. But congrats, Angeria. Um, so let's get this out of the way. I want to jump into the scoreboard. Let's break down some stats, break down the numbers, um, break down how all of it played out. And then we'll have our, of course, our larger conversation afterward. Um, if you're following us on YouTube right now, you're gonna have the added benefit of seeing the scoreboard. Um, Obviously playing out. If you're listening to us on the podcast, then just try to keep up with the numbers, okay? Stay with us.
Visualize it.
Yeah, visualize it in your brain. Okay.
Unless you're driving,
Uh,
focus on the road.
yeah, focus on the road. Yes. I never do that. I'm one of those people that's like, I'm on it. I never look at the road. I'm always like on Instagram. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
That's okay. My sister-in-law films vlogs while driving. It's always a little concerning,
Okay, that's
but
a
also
little more
impressive.
very
Yeah.
the fact that she's alive. Yes, very impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. Um, okay. So I believe you have some information about challenge wins. Correctamundo.
I do. Would you like me to run through the episodes and challenge wins now?
Yes, please, sir.
So the first episode, Drag Queen Save the World. Um, the maxi challenge was to write and perform a verse in Drag Queen Save the World, the new song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The winners for that challenge were Angeria and Georges, and
Yes.
they both lip synced $2 Million Bill by Whitney Houston, and Angeria was the winner of that lip sync.
Yeah, she was girl.
She sure was. The next one was the paintball, which was their three looks in the paintball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the winners were Plastique Tiara and Gottmik, and they lip synced to Jump in the Line, and Gottmik won.
Yeah, I
Then we
remember
had
that.
the Snatch Game, and which was Snatch Game, no explanation needed. The winners were Gottmik and Nina West, and they lip synced to Banana by Anita featuring Becky B, and Gottmik won again. Good for Gottmik.
You.
And then we had Smoke and Hot Firefighters makeovers. The winners of that challenge were Roxy and Vanjie, who lip synced to Black Cat by Janet Jackson, and they both won and split the winnings
Yes.
in that sync. And then we had Property Queens.
Mm-hmm.
The winners of that were Plastique and Roxy, who lip synced Dance to Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj, and Roxy won that one. Then we had The Roast, one of our favorite episodes, or one of our
Yeah.
favorite challenges, I should say.
Yeah.
Who the two winners for that were Angeria and Plastique, who lip synced to Be My Lover by, is it La Bouche? Am I saying that right?
Yes. I think so. I love that song.
We'll say La Bouche. And Angeria walked away with $10,000 for her charity. And then it was Meeting in the Ladies' Room, and
Yes.
that was Angeria again and Nina West, who lip synced to Lover Girl by Tina Marie. and Angeria won that lip sync. And then Make Your Own Kind of Rusic, who had the winners of Plastique and Roxy, and they lip sync to No One Gets the Price by Diana Ross. Ross, sorry. Uh, Roxy won that lip sync. We're getting there. We're getting there. And then Rosemary's Baby Shower, the Rusical,
Hmm.
and that was Georges and Chanel,
Love that.
who lip synced to Love Come Home by Christine W. And they
Love
both
it.
won that lip sync and split the winnings.
Love it.
And then we had the lip sync Lollapalooza SmackDown, who came out to be Roxy and Chanel, who lip synced to Break Free by Ariana Grande, and Roxy walked away from that as the winner. And
Cool.
then we had the grand finales, but those are different.
Yes, absolutely. Which was the talent show. Um,
Correct.
which I thought
Yes,
was a I thought that was weird for a finale, but okay.
it was. I
Um,
didn't hate it, but it was weird.
right. So Zach mentioned some of the winnings that happened per challenge. So total contestant winnings for their charities ended up being as follows. So Nina West, who was going for the Trevor Project, got $11,500 total. Plastique Tiara for the Asian American Foundation only got $6,500. I was kind of surprised by that. Georges for the National Alliance of Mental Illness got $14,000 total. Got Mick for Trans Lifeline ended up with 29K even. Roxy Andrews for Miracle of Love walked away with $64,000, which is actually pretty impressive.
Oh,
And
damn. That is
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. Angeria, who when she won the whole thing. So for the National Black Justice Collective, she ended up walking away with $231,000 and 500 more dollars. I don't know why I said it that way, but
Plus 500.
yeah, exactly. Um, which is a huge chunk of change for them. So that's really cool.
How much of
Uh,
that is the prize? It was it $200,000 was the prize winning?
yes.
Okay.
Um, Vanjie for the ASPCA got $31,500, and Chanel for the Anxiety and Depression Association of America got $11,500, just like Nina West.
Very cool.
Yes. So normally I do track records with a point system and all of that stuff. That didn't really seem to apply here. We didn't do eliminations. We didn't really do all of that. Um, but we did do badges. And so I did a version of the scoreboard of their rankings where we took out kind of the charity badges. So just by winning the challenge and that's it, one badge per challenge win. This is kind of how the rankings kind of fell. So Roxy Andrews and Plastique actually had the strongest track record for badges that were simply only from challenge wins. Angeria was next with 3, and a bunch of other people. Georges, um, Chanel, Nina, Gottmik, they all had 2. Vanjie had, I think, the worst. I think hers should say 8th, but she only had 1, which is kind of. But she's top
Surprising.
3. Yeah, top 3, everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Um, so that's how that shook out. How the rankings actually fell, because we did do other badges, right? People won 2 badges, one to keep, one to give away. We did that a couple times. The talent show was worth 3 badges for some reason. We had a double diamond, which was a pointless twist that didn't go anywhere. Womp womp. I'll talk
Yeah.
about that later too. But here's how the rankings fell. So Angeria came in first, obviously. She won. She had 6 badges total anyway, so that was really cool. So again, kind of appropriate she won, in my opinion. Um, Roxy and Vanjie came in second, third, respectively, as they were top 3. And they both had 5 badges each. Plastique had 4. Georges also had 4. Nina West had 4 because of the double diamond that she got. So they voted to double her badge total. So she actually technically had 2, but they doubled it to 4. And so they came in 4th through 8th. Oh, sorry, I forgot Chanel and Gottmik. So Chanel had 3, and then Gottmik had 2. They were all eliminated kind of at the same time. So if you look up their stats, they're officially listed as fourth through eighth, just kind of like all adjacent. But if you really want to split hairs,
Mhm.
then Gottmik would be eighth, Chanel would be seventh, and everybody else would be kind of tied. Um, so that's how that works out.
That's so interesting, considering like who we thought front runners were at the beginning of the season and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. This whole this format just makes everything a pointless kind of mess. So, anyways, Drag Race Hall of Fame. We added Angeria to it, y'all. She's there. She's on the wall in the imaginary hallway.
Chick.
Yep. Well, she didn't get a check. That's kind of a funny part.
No, that's right. Symbolic
Yeah.
chick.
Charity check. Okay, so all the numbers are out of the way. We have a lot to go over. We're going to talk about the season as a whole, get into some of the nitty-gritty. We also have some tea to share with you later about DragCon, which was a
Love
big
tea.
thing. Yes. We'll talk about the upcoming casts and all of that good stuff for all of your favorite drag-related programs. And then have some other, I want to say exciting. It's exciting for us. News to share, and then we will go from there. So with the scoreboard done, um, all that information covered, let's kind of break it down. You have information on runways, right?
I do. I have them all listed out. Um, and there's all of my
Let's,
pictures.
yes, let's go over runways. I think I hear an owl outside. Oh my God, that's horrifying.
No, that's great for your squirrel problem.
They ain't doing nothing about this squirrel. I know these owls have been around. They ain't eating these squirrels. And I think we have a new batch. Yeah, no, we saw a squirrel like on the fence and he was calling other squirrel. It was like a scout for another like another sect of their gang. Like I don't know. I don't know where he came from, but he was like, "Hey, they got flowers
Recruitment
over here."
officer.
Yeah, it was wild. Um,
Well, then
okay.
maybe the ones you should be talking to is the owls.
Yeah, but they scare me. The owls are not to be trifled with. Like to make a deal with the owls
Hmm,
is
dangerous work.
I'm afraid to open my window and look.
Just like his face like, pushed against the window.
It's like hoot hoot.
All
And
right.
no. Okay, so go over runways. I'm listening, but I'm gonna check out this owl situation. But go on,
Okay.
proceed.
Okay, so the first runway we had was bum, ba-da-ba, signature look, signature fragrance. So they had to, as part of the challenge, design a signature fragrance and then a look to go with it, I believe, that represented their drag, correct?
Yes.
It's like, hello. Was there an owl out there?
It's dark. I cannot see. So
Okay, cool. Um, so these are kind of cool. Angeria did her what was hers called? Southern Belle, I believe is what hers is called.
Mhm.
And then Got Mix was called, her fragrance was called Crash. George's was Lil Chiquita. Nina's was Criminal. Plastique was Fantastique. Roxy was Never Sent Home. Chanel was Chanel number one, very original. And Vanjie was Toxica. And their looks were supposed to tie in with that. And I think that for the most part, they did.
Do you disagree on some? And if so, who and why?
Well, looking at Got now that I'm looking at Gottmix, I'm like, oh, really? Is that? I don't know if that represents her fragrance because it's not what I think of when I think of Crash. I don't really remember how she explained it, but
Yeah. What were the other runways from this whole season?
oh, from the whole season, I will list them. Okay, so our runways this season. So we had the signature look. We had the paintball, which were three looks involving paint. So monochrome, drag imitates art, and paintball eleganza. Uh,
Hmm.
a tail, a tail, and two titties. I just want to make sure I wasn't seeing things.
Make sure you pronounce
Smoking
titties
hot pop
correctly.
stars. Yes. um, Smoking hot pop stars. Day to night reveal. Atomic blonde. Widow wheat from kind of Ruzic, Bring Back My Pearls, and Grand Finale Eleganza. So those are all of our
Okay.
runway themes this season.
Okay.
What were some standouts for you?
I'm going through them right now. I will eat a lot of plastiques were standouts. Like I remember a lot of hers. Um, Especially the one she
Yeah,
did
because
in
they were
the
so out there.
paintball. Yeah, the
Yeah, that
paintball
one was
one is
gorgeous.
crazy good. And I love how kind of nerdy. I don't remember her being this nerdy last time she was here. Maybe I'm just
Yeah,
not
it's like
remembering it.
almost like super elevated cosplay
Yeah,
and drag.
it's fantastic. Um, Gottmix had a lot of great runs.
Okay, I have an
What?
issue with Gottmix runways.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Well, I guess this isn't unique to Gottmik, but it's kind of my issue with designer runway in general. So part
Okay.
of, and I understand. So I think maybe just because this is all stars, but when you're at the point where you're just wearing designers and you didn't
Oh, I see.
either craft it or construct it or come up with a concept. I mean, I know a lot of people do come up with a concept and then they hire a designer to do it. It just doesn't feel as impactful when you're just kind of displaying someone else's work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, like I think there was one or two that got me word that was directly from another runway from like Fashion Week. While that's cool, and I'm glad that she gets to do that, I don't really care. Like it's not as impactful to me.
Yeah.
And that might just be a me thing. Like she had that purple one. I forget who the designer was, like Versace or something, or
Yeah.
Valentino. Like, where it
I'm
was
inclined
like,
to
that's
agree.
cool. But it's kind of like in was it a it wasn't an all-star season. What was the season where a contestant wore like J Lo's actual dress?
Wasn't that was that Carrie Colby?
Yes, it was Carrie Colby. Okay, see, that's not as impressive to me. That's just like, oh wow, you had access to some things that a lot of
It
people
was
don't.
Carrie Colby, and she sucks because of it. That's
No,
what you
she
said.
doesn't suck. It just
That's what you
wasn't.
said. You heard it
Well,
here. Zach
okay.
said Carrie Colby sucks, everybody. That will be
I
the
don't think
clip I
that
put on
Carrie.
Instagram.
I don't think that Carrie. I think you're wonderful. I just don't think that that was a very imaginative look, and that I'll stand by.
Wow. I gave that whole disclaimer, and you are just ripping them apart.
To shreds, you say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
um,
It's just not because like my favorite challenges are sewing challenges. So if you didn't have to come up with something organically and you don't get to show that on the runway, it's just not as I'm not as impressed by it.
yeah, I agree. I don't know. It used to be on Drag Race where like the runways were a place to showcase another skill, and it truly isn't that anymore.
Yes. Right. And I think that's what bothers me because that skill was always really impressive to me, because I sew, I don't design, but like seeing people construct looks based on a challenge, I think is one of the coolest parts of Drag Race.
Yeah, I agree.
So knowing that
Um,
I just paid someone to construct this look for me just doesn't do it for me.
yeah, no. I liked a lot of Angeria's runways. I did not like all of them, but you could tell that she stepped it up at least a bit from her previous season, and that's always the goal here. And that's where I think I have a bit of an issue this season, actually, as
Hmm.
a whole, is especially compared to the last couple groups of all stars we got. I kind of feel like a lot of these, this particular group of contestants, I don't think they leveled up necessarily as much. Are you hitting your
Yeah,
mic?
particularly, huh?
I heard
No.
something hit your mic. That was weird.
Oh, I
Right
set
there.
my phone down on the table.
Oh, that's what that is.
Wow, that shit is sensitive. Okay, quality.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like Georges and Vanjie. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that their looks were as stepped up as I think it should be for an All Stars. But
Yeah.
they ate that shit up. Like they thought that that was like
Oh, Georgia. Don't even get me started.
Rue's granddaughter. I can't.
We have a lot to talk about Georgia this go around as well.
Yeah. And then
Um,
to even to an extent, like Nina West, right? Because like there were maybe two or
yeah,
three looks that Nina brought where I was like, wow, this is
hers
great.
were a
But
lot of
some were
hers were
just like,
disappointing.
yeah, like even her, like the first one she came out in when she did her criminal fragrance, I was like, you look like the Hamburglar's wife. Like, get out of here. Absolutely not.
Uh, I love because she's a supportive. Like, why is she dressed like her criminal husband?
It's just the fashion of the family. Like it's like if they were posing for their Sears um family photo for
Okay,
that year, they all decided to wear outfits. She would be supporting of his fashion choices,
okay,
is
cool.
why I said that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think that's really all that stood out to me for runways. I Roxy's were for the most part disappointing to me. Chanel,
Yeah,
I don't think Chanel's got enough credit. Some of hers missed the mark for me too, but comparatively to some of the other misses, like I think she actually kind of stands out more than she got credit for. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
And
Yeah.
I really don't think there's one of Vanjie's where I was like, oh yeah, this is all-star material. Like you slayed it.
No, not a
Especially not
one.
the grand finale Eleganza one. Absolutely not.
No,
No,
no. Where she
ma'am.
was shedding her Cookie Monster jacket all over the stage. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Like I can appreciate that that is an elevated style of fashion, but it does not read eleganza to me.
No, absolutely not.
Especially when you have people like Plastique like absolutely blowing runways out of the water.
Yeah,
Like you have to feel a type of way watching her walk out before you. Like
yeah.
absolutely not. There's
Okay.
what?
I can hear you every time you touch anything on your desk. I'm like waiting for you to stop fidgeting.
Oh no, it's not even me fidgeting. I was just getting a drink of soda. This is gonna be bad when I
Okay,
actually do start fidgeting.
cool. Well, just there will be no nourishing yourself during this recording. Just kidding.
Got it.
Challenges. So we went over challenges. This is also where I think that the um skill gap between this group of all-stars and like the last group and especially all-star 7, like I think
Mhm.
like they struggled with a lot of the challenges, and I think they got real lucky that we're doing charity. They got that
Yeah.
winter season edit, because it's for charity, so nobody's getting eliminated. We're not showing negative critiques and all that good stuff, because especially Snatch Game, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. That was so rough.
Like Plastique is Ali Wong, like all this stuff. And maybe I'm just accustomed now to like All Stars coming back and like really knowing how to kind of, especially that challenge, like really hit it out of the park.
Really
And
knowing their craft.
yeah, and it was just like between Plastique and Vanjie and the dueling Liberace's or whatever the hell. Like it was like true, like what is going on? Like it felt like a regular season level Snatch Game, and I don't like that.
It did, like, especially like since you mentioned Plastiques, like her Ali Wong, especially because she was so determined to show that she's more than just like a look queen. I don't know that she accomplished that. Like, because everything that wasn't about creating a look was a big struggle for her.
I will say what's surprising to me though is then she did kind of really well in like the other acting challenges and improv challenges and stuff that they did. And I think she didn't wasn't she one of the winners of the roast? Am I not am I remembering that
Yeah,
right?
but I can't think I agree that she was should have been a winner
Okay.
of the roast.
Okay,
Uh,
go on. Tell me about that.
I mean, I don't know that anyone did. I don't know that anyone did terribly, but it was kind of random because she came out in that like Sailor Moon outfit, had the random cigarette for why. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
But I loved that.
It's not that I didn't like her. I didn't understand the character that she was doing. I mean, I know she walked on and said, "Oh, I'm at the wrong convention," and it was a drag con rose, blah 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 blah. Um, I just didn't. I didn't think it was.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay.
quite as funny as the other contestants. I didn't think
Is that why she was dressed as Sailor Moon? Like, is she trying to say she was supposed to be at it?
at like at an anime con or something, which I mean, that's a lot of work for that one opening joke, and then for nothing to be about that.
Which I didn't even catch it until
Yeah,
now.
and then the cigarette still made no sense to me. Like that she
Yeah.
randomly had at some a point while she was roasting.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Really rough day for Sailor Moon, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's a good point. For now. I don't know. Then yeah, I guess she just sucks. Just kidding. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, don't be wrong.
Mm,
Her runways, like we said, were amazing. I really thought she brought the all star runway part.
yeah,
And she did okay in the Rusical. Like I think she, especially for that kind of knowing that that's out of her wheelhouse. Like I think she did
right.
well. Um, and even her bit in Drag Queen Save the World was good. I don't know. I think it's like you said. I think with All Star 7 and even 8 really set the bar really high. So when it's not at that level with all of the contestants, it
Yeah.
feels weird. It feels like a regular drag race season, which we
It
just saw
shouldn't.
one of those.
Yeah. Uh Speaking of the Rusical, I hate the Rusical every year. This is not a secret. I will say
That's not your favorite challenge? I could have sworn.
no, it's
Uh,
not.
I think you have that same reaction when I say that every time too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I don't like the Rusical because I don't like musicals. So I don't like Rusicals either. You know how that works.
Hmm.
But I will say this seemed to be the best produced Rusical I think we've ever gotten on the show. There was a lot happening, and but in a good way. There was, you know, it was good stuff, I think, for the most part. Do I
Yeah, I
really
thought it
care
was
to
really
watch it
good.
again? No. But, like all I think about is the turning wig from like Gottmik's part.
Oh
The
yeah,
Exorcist.
that's pretty gaggy.
Yeah. Like I really liked a lot of that stuff. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like they really I like that they're leveling it up to make it legitimately like a really small play. And it's become such a
Hmm.
staple. But um yeah, so that was like a standout for me, which is surprising because I hate that challenge. But
Maybe because it was horror adjacent.
yeah, maybe. It just seems like a lot went into it, which I appreciate at least. Other than that, I think the talent show finale was weird to me, but
Yeah,
like doing it as a finale was, I don't know. But
I really hate the talent shows in general.
I like them and I like the idea of them when we get something different, but even this one, it was like original song, original song, original, and we only have 8 contestants. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
six of the eight did original song, one of which played the guitar during hers, and then we had burlesque and juggling. Like, I don't know, it's just the original songs. I will say, Angeria's was pretty entertaining. I liked Angeria's.
yeah, it was funny.
I thought it was because she had that interlaced comedy to it, and it hit every beat for me. But God, I'm so tired of original songs. Like, God, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Nada más, por
I
favor. I'll pass.
Chanel should have won one of those spots, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was really hoping she'd get the double diamond thing because then it would have put her up there because she had
Yeah.
three.
I wanted her to win the talent show and then happen to get the double diamond, but I kind of figured that wasn't gonna happen. But
How
I
gaggy
would
would that
have
have been?
died and then win the whole thing. Yes, ma'am. I which this is off topic. Can we talk about the new Chanel? Because and this is both a physical thing because she's rebuilt her face, but
Shiny
it's
and new.
also it's also an internal thing because Chanel was known for being kind of like a difficult queen on the first season. She
Mhm.
had an attitude. She quit because she was like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even on All Star, because she was on the first season of All Stars, not much had really changed with her. And she always kind of had this attitude of like, well, I'm Chanel and I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And
I'm Chanel, I'm beautiful, and you should recognize me for that.
yeah, and you should kind of worship me because of it. Like it was just weird. But this is like a totally different person. Like
I
she's,
love this Chanel. I mean, I
yeah.
really liked the Chanel before, just because I thought she was pretty iconic. But this Chanel, oh my gosh, I think it's like I don't know if it's just the vulnerability that she showed that felt so
Hmm.
legitimate and made her a little more endearing. Um, but also like she's just so talented. Like how cool was that juggling act? Like that was
Yeah.
sick. That was really cool. And then she really turned out some lip syncs in the Lollapalooza. I was shocked that she made it to the final two.
Yeah. I
She really killed it.
She did. And I and she was just so humble and for the most part, like you could tell, like, she had a few moments where she was getting stressed out, especially because they weren't giving her any wins. I think she deserved some more than what she got, to be
Yeah.
honest. But for the most part, she was just kind of grateful to be there. She got along with everybody, which was
Hmm.
crazy. Um, and even now, like she's kind of doing the rounds of like thanking fans everywhere and just talking about how, you know, thrilled she is to just kind of like have the opportunity. And I'm like, who is this? And
Yeah. A
I
more
love it.
elevated, I think a more evolved um Christmas decoration producing
Yeah.
Chanel, which I did not know that about her, and I think that's
Yeah.
hilarious and awesome.
Her booth at DragCon was a Christmas Emporium
Oh, I love
also.
that.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I like this. To me, this is the stuff that I like about All Stars. This is why I like I don't want to say the older, but like the queens from earlier seasons coming back is that there's,
So much growth.
yeah, because I feel like, especially the newer wave of queens that we have, they think about coming back to All Stars and it's just about leveling up your looks and leveling up the makeup. But to me, like the whole evolution is what makes it interesting when they come back. And Chanel's like a perfect example of that. That's why I liked Kylie so much too. Not
Mhm.
that Kylie was, not that Kylie was known for being difficult or anything like that before, but
No,
Kylie
it was
was
just a
just
very different
very
Kylie
different.
though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Or Shay. Like when Shay came
uh-huh.
back, like Shay
Yeah.
was awesome on her season,
Yeah.
but the level of detail and professionalism and just star talent like quality that we got in
Yeah.
All Stars was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
Yeah, to me that's kind of like what it's all about. So I've really enjoyed the new Chanel. And I went into this like, oh, like I was glad. I'm always glad that when kind of like the OG queens are back anyway. But I
Mhm.
went into it being like, oh, but it's Chanel. Like I don't really like Chanel.
Were you
Like
not a
she's
Chanel person prior to this?
no, because of her attitude. And I've seen
Mm,
her perform. Like I've seen her perform in Vegas and stuff like that. And she's really great at what she does, but I've just never been able to get on board with like the attitude part of her. And because she never came back and or did anything, like that's just kind of how I've labeled her.
mhm.
And so now she's probably one of my favorites. Like she's this was incredible. This was an incredible season for her.
It really was. And oh my God, her promo look alone, how amazing.
Yeah. In fact, I love so if you're on YouTube watching us, like I always put like the visuals from the season up that just kind of like cycle through while we talk. Um, they don't necessarily line up with what we're talking about, except for the scoreboard and stuff. But I love because you gathered them for me. Zach gathered like these side by sides of like all of their promo looks. And I love looking at that because I mean,
The
some of them
evolution.
are wild, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But
Like, look at Vanjie's original promo look.
Vanjie's a different person. Also, Vanjie is no longer Mateo. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it just Vanessa Vanjie?
yeah. And word on the street is via the Reddits that I was I don't even have a Reddit, but I was scouring them, trying to figure out what was happening. And apparently they had some sort of falling out, but it was
Wow.
apparently over something stupid, like and Alexis isn't really like upset about anything. Like Alexis is fine, but Vanessa's kind of like distanced herself from Alexis and has said like, "Don't call me a Mateo." She completely changed her makeup because she used to kind of look like Alexis.
Lexus a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and now for some reason she wants to look like Rihanna. It's like, okay, calm down, girl. But uh she's like, we get it, you like Rihanna. Like she just like cloned herself. It's really bizarre. She's the Derek Barry,
But
but
for
for
Rihanna.
Rihanna. It's weird. Um, yeah. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wonder what's going on there. So
I did not know that. Now,
yeah,
now I really want to know.
yeah. So I don't know what's going on there, but crazy,
Gosh, I'm
craziness.
looking at these side by side pictures you mentioned, and it just
Isn't it crazy?
except for Georgia, she looks the same. She's in a different outfit. I guess good for her.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it later, but it's not going to get much better.
No.
um,
But like
yeah,
Angeria, what's interesting about that is Angeria hasn't had that much time between her season and now, but I do feel like Angeria is a very different drag queen than she was when she started her season.
yeah. Her booth
So
was
like,
really impressive at DragCon too. I will say that.
oh, did you get any pictures of those?
No, but
You should
I felt
look,
bad taking
look,
pictures of them.
look, girl. If you're going on
I
location,
know. I felt bad because when they do pictures and all that stuff, they like you're supposed to kind of like buy some of their merch, and then you get to
I
kind of
see.
meet and
Well,
greet.
okay, I understand that. That
And
that makes sense.
some of the queens are smart. Like they design their booth where like nobody from the outside can see them. So unless you bought merch and are asking for that meet and greet, like you're not getting a picture of any kind with them
That makes sense.
of them, right? But a lot of the other queens, like they just kind of design their booth and you can kind of see them from afar. But I felt bad because I'm like, I don't know, it just feels weird to be like, well, I'm gonna take this picture because then I won't have to pay for it. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense.
Um, so I tried not to do it. There was a couple times where I tried to like take some shots, but I was like, I don't know. It just felt like the wrong thing to do. So I can't wait till we talk about TrackOn because there's some other stuff with that too. It's kind of funny. But hers was really impressive. Like she had like this like Georgia. I don't know why I'm saying. Is she from Georgia? I don't know where the hell she's from.
Um, Maybe. Why do I want
I don't
to
know.
say? Why do I want to say Texas? I'm probably wrong.
Um, I mean, she's not from California, so who cares, right? But
I don't feel like there are a lot of popular queens that are from California.
no, they just moved there after, which
Right.
is I think is hilarious. Like, way to be posers. But she had like this, she set it up like essentially like a park. So she had this whole backdrop that made it look like she was outside. And she was like on a park bench and she had like this whole Southern Belle outfit on. And it was really nice.
She is from
So,
Georgia. I looked up. You were correct.
oh, cool. Yeah. So it was probably meant to look like a swamp. No, I'm just kidding. No. Anyways, anything else about challenges?
No, I think I did
That's
like
pretty
a
much
lot
it.
of these challenges though. Did you have a
It
favorite
was
challenge?
fun. A favorite challenge. Oof. Uh, the Rusical. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course.
To be honest, no. I want to say I remember liking the roast and I liked the lip sync Lollapalooza. I remember the Lollapalooza being really like exciting. But other than that, I think I really kind of liked any other challenge.
Oh, speaking of the roast, do you remember that drama that came out about stealing people's material and all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff
like
on with
Gottmik and Nikki
Gottmik?
Glacier. Yeah.
Yes. I'm surprised I forgot about that.
I love that Gottmik was like, you think we any of us write our own stuff? I was like, yeah, I kind of do.
I
Like
always thought that they did, except for like maybe one or two that's kind of like a well-known thing. And that really takes me out of it if they don't, and it really irritates me.
what I think she meant was the queens who can't write jokes because they're not funny, probably just kind of pulled from things they've seen and recycled some things. My understanding, though, are that for the most part, that's is one, that's part of the challenge. And
Yeah.
two, like Bianca comes to mind,
Hmm.
who could just write especially a roast, they could write a roast joke like that and do a whole set,
Yeah. She wouldn't even need to
you
write
know.
one
No,
at this point.
she is a roast
Yes. It's
on a,
chicken.
yeah, on a stick.
I just
Uh,
thought that was really interesting. And then I think even I don't know, I don't know that she handled it the right way either because he's like, oh, we all do it. It's like
I
I
don't
don't
think
know if
y'all
that's
do.
I don't think y'all
Mm-mm,
do. And I think maybe you should have just said,
no,
yeah, I did, and I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. I would have appreciated that more than just saying everyone does it.
yeah. And I love that she was like almost surprised people noticed. I was like, you could,
But it was like verbatim. How would people
yeah,
not? At least
like what?
muddy it a little bit. Like, and I don't think that you're really paying homage to a comedian that you really like by stealing their material. Like I don't think it's that vibe, girl. Um,
And a little disappointing because Gottmik actually can be funny. Like her Snatch Game stuff is always really funny for both her seasons.
yeah.
Really great stuff. So it's like when she's forced to be in a situation where it's unrehearsed and she kind of just has to kind of do stuff. Or he, I think he goes by he still in drag, but really funny.
Well, yeah. Well, look at how much. I mean, this is a regular season, but how much Sasha Velour was struggling with making her roast funny
Yeah,
because she's so like cerebral, intellectual, and trying to make
yeah,
it so she did great because she like really challenged herself and applied her drag to the challenge and did
yeah,
wonderfully. And
yeah,
I think that's where it works for me. It's like, okay, cool. This feels like your work. But when
yeah,
you're just it's just like, oh, whatever, it's all stars. I'm gonna just tick whatever. That's it just feels like a slap in the face.
yeah.
I don't like that.
Me neither.
Oh, I did like the smoking hot firefighter makeover episode for obvious reasons. But I always like those ones. I think they're really cool. I like makeover challenges anyway, but anytime we can objectify men while doing it.
Let's talk about it because
I'm feeling like you are not on board with that.
I I just find it interesting, sister,
Okay.
because
Still
uh
sister. I'm
well, I'm
so
just saying because even on this program, like we've talked about how like the pit crew feels like a step backward because of the objectification. So I just find it a little weird that you're
well.
like, well, anytime we can objectify men, I'm
Okay, so
on
not
board with it.
any time. Let me backtrack a little bit. So not any time we can objectify men, but I do think
Just
that
civilian ones.
just civilians. Yeah, when we're not paying it
Wow.
when we're not paying them for it, it feels less dirty. Um
Okay. Whoa. There's a whole other episode to do there.
joking. I like I like
No, you're
makeover.
not.
No, I like makeover challenges in general. Okay, I think it's cool. I mean, even if it wasn't about hot firefighters, I like makeover challenges anyway. Like I think they're really cool challenges. I just also happen to like firefighters and think that that's a wonderful amalgamation of two things that I find really entertaining.
Cool.
Um, I am not going to backpedal on what I said about objectifying the pit crew and how sometimes it is really uncomfortable because sometimes it is really
You're just
uncomfortable.
gonna backpedal on what you said this episode.
Yeah. No, sometimes I feel like there's a specific line. Um, and some of the
Hmm.
things like I think when we have talked about the conversations we've had about objectifying the pit crew have been like, this is something that would make me inherently uncomfortable if I were in their position. I don't think that this is the same kind of thing personally. And I still stand by what I said, but I also still really like this episode. So we'll just go with that.
Hmm. Okay. Would you like a
Yeah.
spoon for all the you're eating while you try and back?
Yes,
Okay.
please. No, I really liked that one, and I liked meeting in the ladies' room. I thought that was a fun, I think a fun nod to like
Because you like
campy.
objectifying ladies.
Yeah.
I'm just
Uh,
kidding.
uh, I like objectifying old movies. And I liked the musical. I thought it was fun. I definitely agree that it had a lot more production than past ones. My least favorite one, what's the one with oh, it's season 6, the one with Bianca and Milk and Adora, and that I hate that one. That one's so terrible. And the music in it is just awful.
Okay.
Yeah. But
You
this one
hate a
was really
door.
cool.
Got
I
it.
liked it. No, I don't hate Adore. I really like Adore. I just don't like that musical. I think that musical is terrible. Especially that like number they do at the end where it's like uh all the drag queens come together. I fucking hate that shit. No, thank you.
Okay. You hate a door. You hate who else? What's in there?
Bianca, who's like my favorite drag queen
Oh,
of all.
okay. So you hate
Well,
Adore, you hate Bianca.
Courtney
I'll,
Act,
I'll make sure to
Ben de la
splice it that way.
Creme.
I'll
Okay.
post it and tag you and tag them. Be like, yikes.
Love Pink.
um, I forgot about meeting in the ladies' room. I really liked that because I like seeing RuPaul get down with the queens. We don't always
Yes,
see that
she used
anymore.
to be so involved, and now she's very detached.
She's been active this year though.
She has. She's done some good stuff.
DragCon and all this stuff. I don't know. She's good feels social. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. Um,
Oh,
uh,
this is unrelated but hilarious. Um, so Perry has been playing with I think it's like the Meta AI thing where you can like chat with and the AI will pick a celebrity's voice. So he did one,
what?
yeah, and he's been going through a lot this week. So I went to work this week and I came home and he's like, yeah, I had a whole conversation with Naruto from Naruto. But it was like the AI thing. I was like, that's
Oh,
cool. How did that go? And fascinating. So then when I got home, we
yeah.
were having lunch. Uh he we were watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and then he started talking to one as RuPaul. And it was really funny. They're very interesting, and it almost sounds like her. It's a little uncanny. But we asked her about fracking and drag con and that kind
Wow.
of stuff. It was very interesting, I thought.
How often do you two leave the house?
Pretty
I'm
often.
just kidding.
He's had a rough week, so I think he's going through it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he has Naruto there to help him.
You know what?
Yeah.
It takes a village,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that Naruto left his village long enough to talk to my husband.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna make a Naruto joke, but I didn't see enough of it to really feel confident in making one effectively. So, yeah. This is where we're going to stop for part 1. Be on the lookout next week for part 2 as we continue our discussion of All Stars 9. Thank you for listening and or watching. There are options for you to ensure that you keep enjoying past and upcoming episodes of Highlights. If you are enjoying Highlights on a podcast platform, leave us a review and subscribe. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can leave us a like and a comment and subscribe to the Planet Grady channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss out when episodes and other content drop. Follow us on Instagram, and with all of that being said, as always,
thank you for watching Highlights, and we'll see you next time.